hold tight for 1 second. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
we take the time and we thank our good Heavenly Father. We want to thank Him for this day, thank Him for the pod, thank Him for you. Let you know that I'm thankful and I'm grateful for this. I appreciate you. Let's get to it.
Man, I like that intro. Hey,
I know,
welcome to another.
almost wanted to rap real quick, man.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, well, welcome to another episode of the Inside Out Basketball Podcast. I'm your co-host, Pete Trammell, joined by my brother, Wes Trammell. I almost forgot your name for a second. I'm like, what's his name? I always called you by your. Yeah, I'm about to say I always called you
Ronald.
Yeah, man, but joined by my brother, Wes Trammell. What's up, bro? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? I was telling Bree, my wife, the other day, I feel like mom and dad miss an opportunity, man, to call me Deuce, bro. Like, I just wish dad would have pulled the trigger back then. Because he calls me Deuce every now and then, but it's like not like a thing. But like, if it would have been like as a kid, and that just would have been what I went by, might have made some league, bro. Leagues or pro players is all about names, bro. That's my theory.
For sure. So, that would have been hot though. You would have been wearing number 2 for everything. You know what I'm saying? You would have been like, yeah, speak. You know what I'm saying? Deuce. And I love it because, you know, Jason Tatum, you know, he calls his son Deuce. I have a friend who has 2 kids, and his oldest is a girl. So that wasn't his junior. His youngest was his junior. So he calls his oldest Ace and calls his youngest Deuce. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. So but then you got you know guys.
Ace.
Go ahead. You're the Ace.
Yo, Ace.
I used to always like kind of like how JR Smith, like JR too.
Yeah.
That was always hard to me too, JR.
JR, yeah. Deuce reminds me. Do you remember that commercial with Deuce McAllister when he was in the school with the kids? And it was like a spelling bee or whatever. And he was like, oh, yeah. It's like, can you spell chrysanthemum? She had cat.
Bro, you have I swear, you and Tommy Fellows have like a memory like an elephant. Like, y'all both remember everything. Yeah, I do remember that commercial, though. That was a good commercial.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Bean, who was on the intro. He actually just called me. You know, and I will say, you know, Bean was actually, him and I were kind of started the show, and we've already had conversations after I started, because obviously Bean's like my brother. He's like your brother too, and you know, he wasn't really in the space right now to really just fully commit to the show. That's why, you know, right now he's, you know, we're trying to figure out a way. He wants to be a contributor, but that's why he's on the show intro. But I'm glad that he's on the intro because his message was so cool. I love the way that it, you know, kind of brought things together. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it for a lot of reasons. I'm grateful, number one, I've told people in the last show that, you know, this show for me is just, you know, 2 brothers catching up on a weekly basis, just kind of tapping into each other's lives, kind of talking about things that could help people. But I'm also grateful because, you know, I know that, you know, we can really build something special. I've seen some people since we've already been public, already follow the show, and please subscribe, follow. The more followers, the more subscribers. It's just, this is going to be better and better for the show. I'm not doing it for numbers, really not, because again, you know, I know how the podcast market is. So for us to really monetize or anything off of this, it's going to take a lot more. But I don't do it for that. I just do it for the reasons that I said before. So shout out to Bean, man. I appreciate you, and you'll be on the show soon, bro, for sure.
List this.
Jason reached out to me too when he first saw the clip. He's like, "You got a podcast, bro? You got a..." It's like, talk to, "Hey, you got a podcast, bro?" It's like, yeah. I was like, me and my bro been doing it on a private tip for a little bit, but that was like the first one I released. Oh, that's dope, man. I was like, I'd
Yeah,
love to be on
yeah.
it. So Jason will be on the show too at some point, and that would be a good episode to kind of bro. So just like I got so many stories about that dude, man, and like I'm gonna save him for when he's on the show,
Yeah.
because I got so many stories about Jason Jamerson. Man, like easy money though.
Yeah. My gosh. Crazy range, bro. And obviously I didn't play with him, but I've been adjacent, been around open gyms, came up to the rec. Best rec player I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Straight
Like
up. He should be in the Grand Valley State Rec Hall of Fame too.
yeah,
You know?
man. Literally probably shooting from, I mean, obviously the rec course was shorter.
Yeah.
Shooting from half court, like still wet, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Jay just loved basketball, man. Like, cause it'll be like after practice, and like
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Kleiner, I want to go to Fresh Foods, I want to go in the crib, watch some games or something like that, lay down.
Yeah.
Jay wanted to go to the rec and play more basketball. I'm like, bro, like, and that's just the testament to him. And like I said, that's my brother too, man. And yeah, I can't wait to have him on the show too, because not only was he a great player, but he was a coach in college. He's worked in the sports industry. He's going to have a lot of good, feedback for people on the show, and he'll just be a great guy to break down and talk to. So I look forward to having conversations with
Yep.
Jay.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
So, but yeah, man, let's just talk about what's going around in the league. News around basketball presented by Ball Game Media. Shout out to my guy BG, Ball Game Media. He's kind of a guy that I've been doing some cross promotion with. But
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young got traded, which is crazy. First of all, I think, and I don't want to sit here and talk about Trae Young like this, but I think Trae Young's value is a little conflated. I want
Yeah.
to say not conflated, inflated. Okay, conflated is with something that's inflated. I think he's a really great offensive player, but I think his value around the league, you kind of saw what his value was around the league. I think the Hawks got back CJ McCollum, really good player. Kispert, another project type of player. But I think a lot of people were trying to say that it was a bad trade because they didn't get back picks for a guy who went number 2 overall, who's been an all-star, who's a max player. But I think that's just indicative of kind of where the league sees him as a player and where the league is going right now. Because I don't think there's a lot of teams clamoring for a undersized point guard who doesn't play defense.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where that trade kind of went off the rails for the Hawks. And I think a lot of that was more or less addition by subtraction, get his contract off, start to rebuild around the young guys and bring in some complementary pieces. But all in all, I thought it was a good trade for both teams.
Yeah, I would agree. It's gonna be weird seeing him in a Wizard uniform, and yeah, I don't think it's gonna be any different when it comes to I don't know, like the level of talent that he's been playing with, because I think he's been to a conference finals, been to the playoffs a couple times, and I don't think he's had an all-star teammate.
Yeah, you're
I
probably
think
right.
it's gonna be more of the same, honestly, with the Wizards, but
I
yeah,
think that's what he wants.
yeah,
Honestly, I think that he's okay with, at least now in his career, I think he's okay with putting up numbers, uh, getting another contract that his numbers will be able to justify him getting another max deal.
right,
So I think he's in a situation where he is, as a young team, kind of similar to what the Hawks were when he came in. Young team,
yeah,
don't really have an established star, and I think he's just going to go in there and just fill it up. And I think
right,
that's kind of what he wanted. I think if he were to go to a contender, let's say he were to go to a team like, I don't know, the Rockets or something like that, then he would have to significantly change his game.
yeah,
And I just don't know what type of value he would have brought to a team like Houston, or
yeah,
any contender in the league. So again, Trey's I love Trey. Don't get me wrong. Like Trey cold, man. Like, I mean, I see like Trey hit a three, give you that little, then he'll point where he shot it. I'm like, yo, Trey is like that. And I would say he's a player that, yeah, granted, he doesn't play a lot of defense, but I say one thing about Trey is his game elevates, under pressure.
Yeah.
If you watch him in the playoffs against the Knicks a couple years ago, I've watched them. Man, I watched Trey and Michael Porter Jr. win an EYBL championship, and he just dominated. His first year at Oklahoma, they didn't win a ton, but again, when a team, I think that year Oklahoma kind of showed me that he can carry a load because, we know in college, especially with a point guard, to me, a point guard is the easiest person to stop because you know where they are.
Yeah.
Right. So, but teams couldn't stop him. They couldn't get the ball in his hands, and he's a great passer too. So I think that's what takes him to the next level. His range and his passing ability. And then really his first, I don't know what, 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years, I think now in the league, 7, 8 years. It's kind of carried over. But again, shout out to him. Shout out to, I think this is a call. I think they're canceling school. Probably for my son. It's snowing a lot out here in Metro Detroit. Matter of fact, let me see. To pick up the kids. So, all right.
Wow.
Either way, thank you. So let's move on. Let's talk about Dennis Schroeder, bro. Hey, I remember that story you told me. What did you tell me about Schroeder that one time when he said something?
Yeah, he missed a free throw. It's the ignorance in me. I'll say that it's the ignorance in me when black people are from Europe, and you just forget, or anywhere else from the United States. So like I remember Pedro Martinez back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm like 7, 8 years old. I'm thinking Pedro Martinez is black, but like I'm not. I mean, he's black, but like
his
black
color's
American.
black.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, culture.
Yeah, right. And I hear him in an interview for the first time, and I hear his accent. I'm like, what? So like, I'm 36 years old. It's still I don't know, that ignorance is still in me. But anyway, Dennis Schroeder missed the free throw, and a mic caught him saying, he was like, shoot. And like it was just his accent. I was like, oh, what? I forgot he's from Germany, and it just threw me off. That's all.
Yeah. It's like some dudes, like, especially in baseball, like when you hear like him, like Pedro Martinez, or it was another one that I was like, what? I was like, like Big Papi, the guys like that. Which, again, if you look at the history of Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and some of those places, a lot of those people are from Africa. They came from the same way we came from, but they stopped there, and then they brought some of us here. So that's kind of how that happens. So there again, people talk about, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but people talk about there's black skin, right, and then there's black culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, when you say black, that's culture. You know what I mean? That's to me. And then obviously, the skin color is just your skin color. But I think I think a lot of people who don't understand that get that confused. When we say black, because to me, black is not a race; it's a culture. But
right.
But yeah, man. So apparently, though, Luka called. Luka's always getting into it with people. You can tell Luka just runs his mouth, and granted, and the thing about Luka, and this is the thing about a lot of European, like they're not scared of Americans, or they're not, and especially like I don't think Luka would have called Anthony Edwards the B word, okay,
right,
but I think that the fact that Schroeder is not American, he's probably seen Schroeder in so many EuroLeague games, and they probably have had battles in EuroLeague games. I'm pretty sure there's a deep history between the two. But I don't think he would have called Anthony Edwards the B word. I just don't think so.
Yeah.
And
Right.
as you see, take it back 2 years ago, 2 years now, where Luka hit the game winner on Rudy Gobert, and said some choice words about Rudy Gobert.
You mother effer!
Can't ever stop me. I was like, oh man. But again, I don't think Luka would have did that. To me, I don't think Luka would have did that to, let me say, I don't know, Julius Randle, or I don't think he would have did that to I can't even think of an American that
Draymond Green.
Right. Yeah, he would have done that to Draymond, or I was gonna say Kevin
Yeah.
Garnett. I was gonna say Kevin Garnett, but somebody
okay, yeah.
somebody like that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so he calls, and if you watch the clips, you can tell that they're jawing and they're going back and forth, and you can tell. And then apparently Luka called him the B word, right? And then, according to the reports, Schroeder after the game, okay, or had said something to him in the game, like, "Hey, we'll see me after the game." And most players say
Yeah.
that, unless you like Melo, who, Melo, they said Melo was waiting out there at the
Yeah,
Buffalo that one time.
yeah.
They got a picture.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, they got a picture of Melo, like, just where you at? Yeah, what's up? But yeah. So I guess he confronted Luka, and then I guess supposedly he hit him a few times, and
Yeah.
And I guess he said something like, "You think that I was just gonna he was just gonna let me call the B word, And
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying that, I mean, I don't know if I probably might have done the same, but I mean, I just did think that's one of those no-go words. I mean, I think in the game of, in competition, man, listen, I've said some things. Believe me, I've said stuff. But it's like, it's crazy because, like, I've said some stuff, but then it's like the person you say it to, they understand, like, just competition. After the game, we hugging it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but when you say something like that, I don't think that that's you're crossing the line. And I think that,
Right.
I hope that Luka can learn from that. And, but yeah, that's a crazy situation though.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand too. And there was a quote by Schroeder. He said, you're not gonna call me a B during the game,
Right.
and then after the game act like everything is cool. It's like, yeah, nah, that's it, if I'm hooping against somebody, whether we know each other or not, and they call me the B word, that's automatically like, I was never a fighter, I'm not a fighter, but that's automatically like we have beef now. Like you kind of crossed that line. I'm not gonna be cool with you if you're gonna call me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. You can call me weak, you can call me soft,
Yeah.
you can call me, you know what I'm
Trash.
saying? Yeah, but
outside
yeah,
the lines. Like when you
right.
say dad, call me out my name, or you say something about my family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like then it's on, man. Like then
right.
it's on. And matter of fact, I'm the type of person, like, obviously, me and you have always been like fire and ice. So I may be fighting, but I'm probably going to come at your neck for the next 30 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
Like that's number one. And then regardless of what happens, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe after the game, yeah. But the primary part is, okay, I'm gonna show you a B right now. I'm gonna show you. I'm coming at your neck every single play. Like
Yeah.
that type of stuff for me, it would have just set me off. Like I would just been going at him. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
shout out to Shorty. He got 3-game suspension, and I posted something on my IG where I think I did the math, but I think it was about almost 400,000 that he lost. Almost around
Jeez.
like 350,
Jeez.
400. And I would say this: you see those numbers all the time, and I think people kind of like see these numbers and they throw them out, and it's crazy. But for a guy, I think Shorter is around the $10-12 million range. That's a lot of money, though. Still,
It
So
is. Yeah.
I hope he got his money's worth. I really do.
Right. I personally loved Dennis Schroeder, as a player. I loved him both stints with the Lakers. He's a great, like, PG to play next to LeBron.
Absolutely.
One that can catch and shoot, but could also get his own.
Yep.
One of my favorite plays is in the playing game when he hit that three to seal it versus Minnesota, and he
Yes. Yes.
turned around to the bench. It was like, woo. That was. I still go back on YouTube and watch that from
Yeah.
now and then. But yeah, I wonder though, like, because he's such a, to me, a really good role player.
Yeah.
Especially, I know he can play a really uh strong role on a contender. Like, why do you think he just bounces around the league so much? I was excited when the Pistons got him last year. I thought he was gonna
He
be
did well
like
for him.
a, you know what I mean? But yeah, he just continues to just
Yeah.
be a journeyman.
I can't quite put my finger on it. I will have to look. I think part of it is obviously I don't know like his defensive stuff. Like he is smaller. I don't
Yeah,
know if our teams are ready to commit to him as their full-time starting point guard.
yeah,
He's one of those guys that he's a good player, but he's not, it's almost like he's undervalued and overvalued in situations.
yeah.
Like he could be in a situation and his value is super high. Or he can be in a
Mm-hmm.
situation where his value is low. Like, for instance, if he were to go to like the Knicks. You know what I mean? I don't know if he would be valuable for the Knicks. I mean, they got Deuce McBride, Jalen Brunson, and they already got two small guards.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't pair him up with like, for instance, you couldn't pair him up in the Wizards with Trae Young. You can't have two small guards. And
Yeah.
if you look at the league is kind of going away from those smaller guards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he's just caught up into like kind of the wave of the league. He is a good shooter, but he's not like a guy that's going to be able to just space the court on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He's better with the ball in his hands, but
Mm-hmm.
I think teams would rather have their top guy to have the ball in their hands. So I think he's just caught
Yeah.
in like a middle game. He's
Yeah.
valuable. He's valuable. He'll have a job. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's one of those. He's like a tweener when it comes to that type of stuff, and a lot of guys
Yeah.
they get caught into that.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a really good career though. I mean, if you tie in what he's done overseas too, because if you, I think Germany won the FIBA World Championship a couple years ago. He was a really integral part of that. Uh, yep, yep. So I think he's had a really good basketball career, and I think
Mm-hmm.
he'll still have an NBA career going forward. And then if he wanted to go play overseas after that, he'll be able to go play. So
Yeah.
shout out to him. But let's move on. John Morant. I put him on the script to talk about, and I saw today he got into it with one of his teammates, Vince Williams, which is like, dang, John, like I can't. I'm trying to remember like a player who was at his height because at one point, and this is not too long ago, like people were trying to say like this was his league,
Face of the
you
league.
know,
Yeah.
and and now like just that fall from grace, it's disappointing because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's part of a bigger, I wouldn't say problem, but a bigger issue with American born players. Um,
Mm-hmm.
us being entitled um, and I just think it's a bigger issue as it pertains to that. But he is
Yeah.
on he is on the trade market. Um, there are a few places that are coming up like Toronto. They said Sacramento, a couple different places that could push the button and trade for him. But
Yeah.
I think that the market for Ja is kind of dry because I'm pretty sure not the Wizards, the Grizzlies are going to want some level of return, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the closer you get to the trading deadline, then the Grizzlies' leverage is going to go lower and lower because you're going to have to trade them. Like you have to trade them pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I think teams are waiting it out to see, we're gonna wait it out, wait it out, wait it out, and then maybe closer to the deadline, we can get them for pennies on the dollar, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of because I don't see a team um like a contender or even a team that has multiple draft picks like the Thunder or a team like
Mm-hmm.
maybe Milwaukee. I don't know, but I don't see a team giving up a lot of assets for Ja. And I just think, man, it's a tough situation for Memphis, and man, I'm just disappointed in him, bro.
Yeah. Same here, man. Same here. And I don't think he'll ever get back to the level of what he was. I think I heard I always say Ben Simmons, Bill Simmons, him
Mm-hmm.
talk about Ja and how what made him so great was his recklessness. Driving to the basket, which over time, taking those hits, falling on the ground. We saw what that did to D Wade and stuff like that. And I think Ja's Iverson made a conscious effort to stop being as reckless. And maybe that's why his game's taking a step back too. But yeah, maybe a change of scenery can help him get rejuvenated, and hopefully he finds the right fit. To where, I mean, I love watching him play. Even it was a little rivalry that Grizzlies
Lakers
were having with the Lakers.
and Dylan
That was
Brooks.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah, but here's a question for you, bro. Do you think that the Grizzlies will get back just as much as they got back for Desmond Bain? Here's who they got: KCP, Cole Anthony, uh, the 16th pick in the 2025 draft, and 3 other unprotected first round picks: 2026, 2028, and 2030, and the 2029 draft pick.
No.
I
and
don't see it.
and 2 reasons. So that's why they traded Desmond Bain and they didn't trade Ja Morant,
Yeah,
because of the return that they could get for Desmond Bain versus Ja Morant. So that's
yeah,
why they didn't trade Ja Morant in the offseason, because they were hoping that this is what I'm thinking from the outside looking in. They were hoping that Ja will come in and play really good and look
yeah,
really good, and then his trade value will go up. Because
right.
prior to the season, nobody wanted to touch Ja Morant.
Mhm.
Nobody wanted anything to do with him. He was coming off the suspension, and he was coming off the situation with with all the things that were going on. So Desmond Bain had more trade value. He was more of a
Yeah.
valuable player in the trade. So that's why they didn't do that in the first place. So to answer your question, heck no.
Mhm.
And if you look at what the Hawks got back from Trae Young, then that can kind of give you an idea of what the Grizzlies are going to be able to get back for Ja Morant. And they might get less,
Yeah.
depending on kind of what team is trading for him. Uh,
Yeah.
NBA trades are complicated, because you have to kind of match up salaries. So in a lot of cases,
Mhm.
when you trade a guy of his caliber, I wouldn't say of his caliber, but a guy that makes the type of money he makes, you have to get that salary in return. With if
Yeah.
Even if it's, so say he makes 40 million, they have to bring back 40 million for kind of like, I'm saying it very surface level because there's a lot of other details to it,
Yeah.
but they need to bring back 40 million too. And
Mhm.
if it's 3 players, then they add up to that 40 million, then they could probably do that. But then there's a lot of, believe me, going through agent training and going through all of that, it's very complicated to train a guy. Um,
Mhm.
and to make it make sense, it's very complicated. So that's why I think the Grizzlies are going through right now. They're going through a situation where they're trying to figure out, and I
Mhm.
know as agents are trying to figure out the best trade. I'm just thinking around the league, like I have to look at team salary caps and where they are in terms of their roster and where they are in terms of the
Mhm.
standings. I mean, I just don't. I'm trying to find a team that like makes sense. Um, who's going to be able to return those type of assets for the Grizzlies. And then really
Yeah.
want to take on Ja, because I think Ja has multiple years left in his deal. So I think that
Mhm.
that's another aspect. Now, if he were to be a guy that's on an expiring contract, which that means his contract was going to come up at the end of the year, then I
Be
think
much
teams will be
easier.
more apt to, yes.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he has multiple years left on a max deal,
Mhm.
teams are reluctant to do that. And um, I it could pop. I think they're going to write him out for the season and try to see if they can trade him in the offseason. If they
Yeah.
can't get a trade, um, worst case scenario, they release him, and then
Yeah.
then they have to eat the dead money. Um,
Mhm.
and or they can do some type of buyout situation. There's a lot of different options that the Grizzlies can have, but ideally they want to be able to get assets back, probably via draft picks, and they're not going to get back equal value in terms of another all-star level player. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, nah.
No. Someone's gonna get him for
Yeah.
a nice little deal.
Yep.
But yeah, but I learned about that the salary match with trades at a young age, NBA 2000 NBA Live 2004, bro, trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
trade Kevin Garnett for
Denied.
Anderson Varejao. Yeah, that one. I'm just thinking like, this is back in the day you could easily do it.
Yeah.
But
Override
when
it.
the games got realistic, I'm just like, oh, so I got to trade Anderson Varejao, Boobie Gibson, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and another player for KG just to make it all. Yeah, so
Yeah. Complicated, man. But
yeah, bro, learn that at an early age.
hey, listen, 2K and those NBA games will teach you like kind of how the game
Yeah,
works. So it will teach you that.
yeah, definitely,
It's gotten more
definitely.
advanced. It's gotten more advanced too because I got 2K the 26 or something. I just got it just to play it, and
Mm-hmm.
I like to tinker. I'm a tinkerer with the video. I'm not like a everyday video game player. I might play it just to play and have fun. I make
Mm-hmm.
franchises. I make a
Okay.
franchise and then I build it, and I
Mm-hmm.
do trades, and so I like doing that type of stuff. And now
Yeah.
the 2K has two levels. So like 2K has like a more basic level where
Mm-hmm.
it's like the trade stuff and all the other CBA stuff is not really prevalent. But then they have like an advanced level you can pick where it's just like the real NBA, where it's like
Wow.
it's not just the trades though. It's like everything, like all the
Yeah.
different stipulations in the CBA. It's crazy. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're really into that type of stuff,
Yeah.
that's fun.
I
Simulation.
bet. Yeah, I'm sure. Like a lot of people use it as practice for sports management.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, programs at universities probably maybe use it in class or something like that as a project. Because I know in my sports management class we used to do we uh we acted as owners of
Mm,
NFL football teams. I had the Cincinnati Bengals. I remember that. I remember we did what did we do? What else we do? Yeah, we had to market for a team, like ticket sales, all that stuff. So it's kind of cool, man. So I can't even imagine what it's like today.
yeah. No, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
really well. I'll say this, even in some of my sports management, because I recently went through
Mm-hmm.
my master's program, and
Mm-hmm.
there were a few studies we did with like building stadiums,
Yeah.
and doing that type of stuff and all the different things you need to do in terms of building stadiums and all. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot. It's a lot more to owning a team than just getting players and stuff like that.
For sure.
It's a ton. So, but
Definitely.
there's one more thing I was going to say with that, but I'll probably remember down the road. But let's shift to Anthony Davis, and then I think that'll be our last conversation about the NBA. Man, I saw a meme the other day, and I was like, man, dog. They said it was like an air cast, and they said Anthony Davis' signature shoe. I was like, they do Anthony Davis so raw, bro. But
Gosh, it's so sad, man.
it is. But I'll start off with look. He's hurt for the people who are listening. He's hurt. He's probably going to be out for the majority of the season. It doesn't really make sense for them to bring him back or Kyrie really at this
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's not really. Now they say he can still be traded. He still be if a team because they said it's possible that he can come back for the playoffs. So if a team
Yeah.
wants to bring him in for a playoff run, they can. But I just think all in all, it's just a really disappointing season with Dallas. I think
Mm-hmm.
that the hopes were that Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag and the rest of the team were going to be able to kind of hold for it until Kyrie came. But it seems like just the fit hasn't really been there. I kind of saw it coming in because like I didn't really believe in their guards. I didn't really believe that there were going to be a guy that was going to be able to because I knew Cooper Flag was going to struggle at some point. Who
Yeah.
is that? Who is that person that kind of takes over from there, and
Right.
I think that that's Kyrie, who was supposed to be Kyrie. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Coop kind of hit a wall, and I think I read it the other day, he hit the rookie wall, and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously injuries. I think they're big fellas between Gafford and Lively. I want to say one of them are hurt. But yeah, man, it's just disappointing, man. I think
Yeah.
this has just been a kind of the theme of his career, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, for sure. I even remember just watching random Sports Center clips when he was in New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
Or like the ticker at the bottom, it'd be like Anthony Davis, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, left game in third quarter because of the hip something something. Just like it was like it felt like it was every other week something like that would happen. But he had, thank God, he had that one healthy season in 2020, where he looked like top 5 player. And rightfully so. The Lakers were the best team in the league all year. Unless I hate people that try to downplay that ring in the bubble. Um, Lakers would have won a title, bubble or no bubble, in my
yep,
opinion, that year.
for sure.
So like, bump that. But
Yeah, stop it.
yeah. So
I think with AD, it's for me. I'm not saying that this is a contributing factor to his body, but like Anthony Davis grew a lot really fast.
yeah,
Um, and I don't know, and I'm not speculating. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know if the fact that I don't know if his joints and everything were equipped
yeah.
to withstand being 6'10", 6'11", to whatever he is, 250.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying it because he's just very injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Anthony Davis like from a talent perspective, Anthony Davis is a lot like Rasheed Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Rasheed Wallace, a lot of if you go back to a lot of these power forwards who've talked on podcasts, Kevin Garnett's, Chris Webber's, um, they've always said the most talented guy all of was Rasheed. Rasheed
Yeah.
could do everything, could shoot the three, could post, could block
Mm-hmm.
shots. Even watching him, man, like I remember Rasheed. I remember Rasheed back, early. I remember Rasheed from Carolina, but then I remember
Mm-hmm.
Rasheed with Portland. He was with Washington first with Portland when they were playing the Lakers. And man, he used to get the Lakers problems. The Lakers,
Yeah.
if you look at those 2000 Lakers teams, their weak spot was that 4 spot. They had Horace Grant early,
Mm-hmm.
which Horace Grant was late in his career at AC Green.
Mm-hmm.
Rasheed, Rasheed used to put in work on them boys. He was like, man,
Yeah.
and he was
Easy
really,
work.
if you go back, one of my favorite games ever is the the Shaq, the Kobe Shaq alley-oop,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
game 7. If you go back, man, Rasheed was like, he was taking them home, man. Like it was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to the finals. Let's go,
Yeah, yeah.
And little do they know though, Cole cross Scotty.
Bryant to Zach.
Incredible. But so AD's a lot like him. I think AD's from a talent perspective. I think AD is. I think he could have been Tim Duncan. He could
Mm-hmm.
have been in terms of his talent and his two-way ability. I think he's somewhere in between Tim Duncan and Rasheed Wallace. And yeah,
Yeah. Do you think he's a top 75 player? Do you think he should have been on there? That's hard because you gotta kind of look at the list to see who should be on there instead. But
from a talent perspective, yes.
because like him on there and Dwight not, you know?
Yeah, I think from a talent perspective, yes. From an accolade perspective, there's no reason why Dwight should not be on that list.
Yeah.
Dwight arguably could be the best rebounding center of all time. I mean, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Wilt's numbers were ridiculous. Probably, arguably, in his prime, the best rebounding center of all time. I think he's got
Mm-hmm.
3 Defensive Player of the Years in that span. There was a point where Dwight was. I mean, you could have made an argument for about a 4-year span. Dwight was probably second or third best player in the league.
Yeah.
So, I think that he should have been on that list. I think it was recency bias. in terms of what he's done and prior to that and how he finished his career.
And his weirdness.
Yeah, I think Dwight could be a little aloof, and
Yeah.
I'm still kind of disappointed in Rob Pelinka for not bringing that team back though after they won the finals.
I don't. Yeah.
You know,
He gave up on him way too quick.
even with
Way too quick.
I mean, even just Dwight though. I was like, yo, just bring back Dwight. He's gonna give you good minutes. He's gonna play hard.
Right.
But I don't know. But like I said, I think Dwight definitely should have been on there. From a talent perspective, this is where you kind of get into it, and it's like it's hard. You gotta go through the list, but like from a talent perspective, a guy like McGrady, I want to say Grant Hill wasn't on the list, but a guy like him, a guy like obviously Anthony Hardaway, from a talent perspective, I would have to put their resumes next to each other, but like for no reason should Damian Lillard be on there before Anthony or Dwight Howard. I had to look at
for sure.
Dame made the team, So
yeah, that's crazy actually. That's actually really crazy.
I think some of that it's almost like the Hall of Fame. Like writers, sometimes those guys have personal, I won't say vendettas, but a lot of those guys were that's kind of why Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, they're not in the Hall of Fame, because there's first of all, from Barry Bonds' perspective, Barry Bonds wasn't even liked prior to the steroids. Like he was very, he wasn't really friendly with the media. But there's no reason why, like, 7-time MVP.
That dude's the best baseball player I've ever seen. Like, I laid my eyes on. I think Barry's better than Griffey, but Griffey's my favorite ever.
But yeah, Bonds was
well had the cross hanging dangling from his ear.
No, I saw Barry in a home run, bro. YouTube it. I saw Barry in a home run. Looked at that mug, and did a spin, and then took it. I was like, Barry a cold boy, man. And like, I mean, if you look at it, like every former player, like it's not even a question. Barry Bonds, like every former player, like you talking about, like I saw Darryl Strawberry, Chipper Jones, David Justice, all of them just like without even hesitation. Barry Bonds,
Bonds, bro,
crazy, bro, just crazy.
Rightfully so. Yeah,
but to kind of go back to what we were saying, there's a lot of politics that deal with those rankings and those teams and getting in the Hall of Fame. So again, shout out to AD, get better soon. A team, where I want to see if he gets traded. Do you know where I want to see him?
Where? Don't say Detroit.
Listen, fits perfectly. Can play the 4. Okay, doesn't really need to be the guy. Got Cade here already. Okay, listen, I give up Ivy. I give up everybody but Cade and Duran. I'm keeping Osura Thompson. I'm keeping Osura. I'm keeping Cade. I'm keeping Osura, Cade, and Jalen. And then you can have whoever else you want. And we pull in with AD. That's where I want to see him, but we'll see.
They would lock up, bro. They would. I mean, they already lock up, but they would lock up.
They vicious, man.
Yeah,
they get down now.
They play really hard.
Yeah, I think they know their identity, and they stick to it. My concern with them, the Hawks are a good team too. The Hawks got a lot of young guys, but the Pistons, I worry about them for the playoffs because when you take away Cade, who is going to step up and give you good? Because we've watched the playoffs for years. There always has to be 2 or 3 guys that are going to be able to make shots. You got to be able to make shots on a regular basis. And even with the Thunder last year, the Thunder don't win the championship without Jalen Williams having that big game. I think it was game 5, where he had, I think, almost 40. They don't win the championship without that game. So you need another guy that can give you a big game. Besides
Mm-hmm.
Duran, I think Duran can be a guy like that in spurts, but it's hard for a big to really get off like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy like AD, who's a guy who could be an isolation scorer, a guy that can knock down shots. I think he'll be a good fit with the Pistons.
Yeah.
Shout out to AD, man. Get healthy. Kyrie,
Mm-hmm.
get healthy. Just looking at their script. Yeah, and then I wanted to tie in a little bit, man. I just been shout out to Thomas Kelly. We've mentioned TK a lot on the show. Hopefully we get
Mm-hmm.
TK on the show. Michigan State. Listen, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Izzo is. I mean, he's a great coach. Their team is rolling. They're always year to year. They're always going to be solid, regardless of the
Mm-hmm.
talent level they have. They're always going to be solid. They haven't missed a tournament, I don't think, ever. I gotta check that, but I don't know if they missed a tournament ever
Maybe
in
in
the
the
last.
beginning.
I think since they won it in 2000, I don't know if they missed a tournament. I would have to
Yeah.
fact check that, but either way, he's just solid and consistent. But dog, I know you've seen Cohen Carr though lately.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yes. The last time MSU missed a tournament was 96, 97. But yeah, man, Owen has a ridiculous. It feels like every single game. His bounce is just insane, man. The one he had last night is just. It was a basic tomahawk, but he was just so high and he cocked it back. So, man, it just had. I just wonder how loud it is, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if it's in a quiet gym, it's gotta be.
Well, there's a
Man.
clip. He was playing open gym this summer. He broke that rim. I saw
Yeah.
that. And man, those rims at Michigan State are like super soft. So
Yeah.
he'd be dunking that thing like a Nerf ball. You know what I mean? And man, I remember Dad said that one time. We was different story, but we was coming home from Vegas. They had
Mm-hmm.
came and watched me play in Vegas, and it was Josh Smith and Dwight Howard. We was playing against them. He was like, man, the boys dunking that thing like a Nerf ball. You know, I was just like, they was too. Josh Smith was, Josh Smith.
Yeah.
But Cohen, I did some number. I checked him out. He's in the top 100. I don't know if he's a guy that NBA, I don't know if he's going to be a first round pick. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
teams are kind of trying to figure him out. I think the biggest thing with him for the next level is like, what's his NBA skill?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot, like that has to be identified. Like, what's his NBA skill? Rather if it's defense, energy.
Yeah.
But from an entertainment standpoint, man, that kid is box office.
Man.
Yeah.
Straight up. Just fun.
I think his game is developed too. You know, I think since I first seen him, you could tell that he was just really limited. But I think now, he's kind of carving out his niche in terms of a player. So shout out to him. Shout out to Michigan State too. So.
Yup.
Well, it's funny, man. I want to get into this because you posted it today, and it kind of goes to kind of what we've been talking about. It's kind of fitting that that clip kind of came out because it's actually exactly what we've been talking about for the last I don't know times we talk, and it's almost it's kind of the basis of kind of what you do on a daily basis is finding your passion and your purpose outside of your sport. And I just want to talk about that, but before we go, I think everybody needs to see and hear it because I think it's important to kind of know what was said, and then let's break it down. So hold on a second. Let me I had it ready and I don't have it ready. Second. My media is faulting me right now. I produce the show, ladies and gentlemen, too. Like I produce it, so I do all the stuff. Maybe as our budget goes up, I might be able to get somebody to do that. But let's play the clip.
basketball past high school at any level. At any level, regular public school is not the answer. They're wasting 3 hours of their day doing at that school that's not benefiting them, and they're getting behind the 8 ball. Athletes around the country, those top tier players, the ones that are taking basketball serious, they are either in homeschool or prep school. Math, reading, writing. The other part of your days need to be dedicated to working on your craft. Because if you're not, you're going to be behind in the game of basketball.
All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate. If you can't wake up in the morning, get your work done, go to school, go to practice, do it the old school way, I believe you're not going to become a well-rounded person. Now listen, first 2 years you can go to regular school. If you're nice like that, then do what everyone else is doing and moving their kids to these prep schools. But to go 4 years of prep school where your whole value as a human being is basketball, I think is dangerous.
Wow.
I'm saying that's dangerous for their personality because, man, all these young kids are dealing with mental health because their whole value is basketball. They've never had, I like science or I like art. I've never had a chance to spend time on that. It's only basketball. So that's where they find their value. Man, listen, I'm just saying why all these young kids are having mental health issues. First 2 years, if you're nice like that, they are going to find you and you will be able to go where you need to go. To just send somebody who's in 6th grade to school, I just don't agree with that.
So pull that from actually your social media account, and man, that's quite a message. We heard it there. I got some opinions about it from both sides, from Perk's side, some Channing Frye's side. But I know you've recently, publicly made a post about it. I've seen you've gotten some engagement from a lot of people who kind of agree with you from that standpoint. But talk to me about that. How do you feel about that situation and go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with Channing Frye. I do agree with Perk to an extent. Like, if you are a top tier player, you know what I mean? Like, yes, prep school is probably the answer for you, probably. But, man, we have to do a better job at what Channing said, like making our athletes well-rounded people. Also, being a kid, you know what I mean? Like, I can imagine being 14 years old, moving out of my house, away from my parents, going to prep school. You got to grow up fast. Yeah, I mean, it's good for you in some ways, but like, okay, I could be at my local public school, going to homecoming, going to prom, right? And yeah, just socializing and being with the ones that you grew up with, right? That's just not even scratching the surface, right? You're in a community of people that know you, that encourage you. You're home. So yeah, man. And I just think that is just something about, like you mentioned a little bit ago, entitlement, being catered to, all that stuff. I never went to prep school. I don't know exactly what it's like, but I imagine the amenities, the opportunities, the things that they receive, the things that they get, top notch. If you're going to an IMG or something like that, right? Then I don't know, East Kentwood High School or something like that. But it's just something about like waking up in the morning before everybody wakes up. You're in the school. You're the first one in the school. Janitor lets you in. You're grinding, sweating, get your workout in. and then shower, you go to school, and then you see all your friends, right? And then practice after school. And then maybe get a couple shots up after practice, right? Yeah, and just being a regular kid, and you have teachers, people in the community that, help you find out who you are, outside of sports. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think that it's just important, man. It's just important because if I'm 14, I do go to prep school as a freshman, and then something happens, I blow my knee out, or I don't make it to the McDonald's All-American game. Failure comes, right? I'm not as good as I want to be. I hate to call out names, but perfect example, Alex Legion. You remember him?
Man, yeah.
Highly ranked, bro.
Yeah.
Highly ranked. You know what I mean? I think he went prep maybe his senior year, went to Oak Hill. I mean, obviously he ended up going big time D1 and stuff, but like didn't really pan out. Not sure what's going on with him today, but like,
Yeah.
these things happen more often than not. So we always look at, when you think about the transfer portal, you think about the prep school, all that stuff. We always see the 1%, the success stories on TV, right? We see it on Sports Center or social media. But we don't see the other 99% that fail. The kids that drop, the kids that maybe end up at a JUCO and they think they deserve better. They drop out of school. They get in trouble with the law, go to prison, working in a job that they hate every single day. They don't know why they're living. We don't see that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think that we have to do a better job at prepping kids to understand, like, you have more value than just being an athlete, bro. Like, you're a great basketball player. Go as far as you possibly can, but use that as an opportunity, as a platform, if you have a platform, to whatever is next for you in life. You know what I mean? So we even see it with NBA players, guys that make it, and then they retire, they may go broke. We see guys going to jail, going to prison. Gerard Crittenden in prison for murder. He's out now, but like, still, like, we gotta do better. That's just me.
Yeah, you hit on a lot of good points, man. Like, Being called me the other day, actually, when I posted the clip, when you had made the comments about, I can't remember exactly what you said, but basically, just it was painful for you to, that process of transitioning from being an athlete, being a player, and it's a painful process, and the earlier you go through that process, the better. And he called me, he's like, man, because this is coming from a 14-year professional player. And when he's on the show, it's going to be really good to ask him those questions about everything that, and we'll definitely dive into that. But man, you hit on a lot of good points. That 1%, for those 1% guys, again, I think for me, I kind of knew it too. Like, I knew at one point I was like, I'm good, but I'm not that good, right? Like, I'm not that good. Like, when I saw Sean Livingston, I was like, yo, there's levels to this. So I knew I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a low level of guys that are going to play at the next level. Even lower level of guys are going to be professionals. It's just, I think the percentages are down in less than 2% for even playing at the next level. They even go to college. You know what I mean? And that, to me, I think that's kind of, you're starting to see that now, and it's actually amplified now with NIL, and where kids are not really getting the same opportunities to go to college nowadays versus even going pro.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different shifts as it pertains to that, which I'll get into at some point. But I think when you go to a prep school, I think that's when basketball becomes transactional. That's when things become more of a business, and it's all about the results that you get. and
Yeah.
everything's gonna be dictated off of the results that you get from this. I would challenge prep schools. Even I would just challenge. I mean, which a lot of schools do that, public schools. But I would challenge like elite level prep schools, the La Lemire's and the Oak Hills and the
Mm,
IMGs. Like, and I'm not saying they don't do this, but like tap into your players' interests. Like, obviously, you guys are
mhm,
playing a lot of basketball, you're doing a lot of things, but then like kind of do some job training and
mhm,
get them interested in other things. You got the resources, you know what I mean? Like get them in other things. And I was just telling somebody this too the other day. It's like even if it's directly related to sports, you know,
mhm.
like do like graphic design,
Yeah,
sports management, sports and analytics. Even make it related to kind of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Just to get a different just a different interest in your life because granted I struggle with this too even to this day.
Mhm,
I put a post the other day like I literally miss playing basketball. Like I miss it. Like I miss the feeling that I get from running up and down and shooting and
yeah,
competing. I really do miss it. But I think from a healthy standpoint, though, I'm okay without it though now. At one point I
mhm,
wasn't, but I'm okay without it
mhm,
now. It took me a minute, but I'm okay without uh, pursuing to be a professional and pursuing to be doing all of that. But yeah, man, there's a lot of good points, and I think Perk, his perspective, Perk didn't go to college. You know, Perk,
yeah,
Perk's been he was a professional right out of college, professional player.
mhm,
He was a one percenter, so I think his
yeah,
point of view was a little different than maybe
mhm,
I think Shanning's point of view is a little different because Shanning was a obviously he was a Division 1 player and all of that, but Shanning
mhm,
wasn't a first round pick. Shanning wasn't
mhm,
yeah, I think he was a first round, but he wasn't a guy that didn't come straight out of high school. He had it developed. You know, he did it the conventional way. And he
mhm,
was 6'11", so he and could shoot, so he was in the league. But I think Perk's point of view is a little different because Perk was straight out of high school, um, didn't do anything other than playing basketball, and then now he's an analyst. So his whole life
mhm.
has been directed around basketball.
Right.
Man, Shannon hit on some really good points though, because like the mental health aspect of it is so huge. Because when you don't reach that level, then what? And you're 19,
Mhm.
20, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you get caught up in some things. But I had a question for you though, and I
Mhm.
wrote them down before. Maybe I got to put my glasses on. You know, what are some creative ways? And I know you probably do this with some of your kiddos, but what are some creative
Mhm.
ways to tap into those interests? Like how? And I kind of mentioned it before. Like I know for me and for guys that I talk to, maybe tapping into something that's related to sports, related to basketball. But what are some ways that you help others tap into other interests other than sports?
Yeah. So really starting with like finding, assessment tests, personality tests, uh, that kind of show you who you are, and like what your personality is like when it comes to like a career perspective. So there's people that are good with their hands, right? They like, being active while they work. They don't really like sitting down. Um, there's people that are creative. They might not like a 9 to 5. They might like different times of the day where they feel creative at night, or just like a ebb and flow type job where like a graphic design or like creating music, writing, and all that stuff. There may be people that are very business minded, right? That might they're very charismatic. They like sales, they like making money, um they like numbers, right? Speaking of numbers, it might be people that are very rigid. They might like, accounting, finance, stuff like that, right? So there's different, areas of the work world based off your personality, different jobs that you might like to do. So I would probably say that's the very first one. Um is you know connecting with your guidance counselor. There's resources that they have for you to be able to take assessments like that. Um, and based off your results, then start using your network. Your parents or guardians, you guys have, or they have they may be in the field that you're interested in, or I guarantee you they know someone that's in the field that you're in. Just start with your network. So I usually tell the kids that we work with, man, to just start asking questions, to start informational interviews. So those are asking people about what you do. So I've had people reach out to me, like, hey man, I would love to, learn more about what you do in a typical day. So just getting information about different careers like that. The next step, job shadowing. Spending part of the day, half the day, or a whole day with someone in the field that you have interest in. I know a lot of organizations, especially bigger organizations, like doing that. Volunteering, all that stuff, man. Just trying new things. And not being a robot, waking up, going to school, going to practice, doing homework, going to sleep, right? Trying new things, getting involved. One thing I wish I would have done more in high school, maybe been a part of the student council, or join, you know what I mean? Join some type of school club where I felt like I had some type of purpose or identity outside of basketball.
Absolutely.
I say
Absolutely.
this all the time. Our sister, Nikki, that's what I respect so much about her. I felt like she always had, even though she dealt with the pressures of being our little sister, I feel like she always had like an identity outside of sports. She was on student council, right? She had friends that weren't athletes. Like, she tried new things all the time, so long with the answer, but that's exactly what I would start with. And just most kids have a network that they can start with, and branch out from there. So that's what I love to do, man. I used to be a career coach at Calvin University, just helping students find their major and stuff like that. So that's one of my passions, for real.
Yeah. Plugging in Chosen Ones. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think this kind of encapsulates I know you guys do a lot more, but this kind of encapsulates kind of what you do.
Yeah.
So like if any young player, any young family needs to tap into this, I think contact my brother, man. For real,
Mm-hmm.
contact him because we've lived through it, number one. He's lived through it, but he's developed a formula and an organization to lend to that, so
Mm-hmm.
tap into the Chosen Ones, because I think this is something that kind of is the base of kind of what you do. And
Absolutely.
you said a lot of good things in soliloquy. That's one of my Stephen A. Smith parents.
Yeah.
But no, number one, career assessments.
Mm-hmm.
I live with a career counselor.
Mm-hmm.
She's a career tech counselor. Very passionate about that. Very
Mm-hmm.
passionate. And so I kind of understand that whole aspect of it. Pretty much every public school, I would say, does this. They do some
Yes.
level of career assessments. Now, if I were a coach, let me just say, I'm talking to the high school coaches, football coaches,
Mm-hmm.
basketball coaches, all the coaches. I would implore my athletes to take it seriously. Because,
Yeah.
a lot of those things, assessments, you're just clicking,
Mm-hmm.
you're clicking and you're not putting much thought into your answers. So you might
Yeah.
not get the results, the most accurate results that you could possibly get.
Right.
But if I'm a coach, number one, use that resource and really I would almost to me, if I could do it, I would try to set up a time, maybe if it was after school or
Mm-hmm.
during a time during school, to get all of the players, get all the athletes in a room. If I'm an AD, get them all in the room, and have them take the assessment and really talk
Mm-hmm.
about the importance of it and what it can lend to and what it can lead to. I would also be very, very honest with my young players about, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like this, but I was very honest with guys, and maybe too honest at some point, but I would say things like, you know, you're going to have to figure out something other than basketball. Some of your basketball careers are going to end in high school, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but all of us, even if you're going to college, you got to be more serious about that. And
Mm-hmm.
but I was very honest about guys and what I felt like I saw them to be. I think it's very reckless and irresponsible to hype up a player. Oh man, you D1, man. No, like I'm reluctant to even do that with kids. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm reluctant to do that even with I deal with college guys. I'm reluctant to do that with guys who are, I don't know if he's a pro. I don't know if I see that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very reluctant to label guys as a D1 or a college level player or a pro level player. But like you said, tap in. Most public schools, I think almost all public schools, I think it's a prerequisite, something that they
Mm-hmm.
have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, it is. Now that I think about it, it is. Every public school
Yeah.
has it. Take advantage of that, number one.
Take
So
advantage. Yeah.
take advantage of that. And like I said, prep schools, public schools, put an emphasis on it. Put an emphasis from an athletic standpoint. You
Mm-hmm.
have most of the time, the athletes are probably a quarter of your school population, more than
Yeah.
not, give or take. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like that's a lot of kids, but still enough where you can kind of individually kind of get at them a little bit. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I know kids are doing NCAA clearinghouse things and things of that nature with their counselors. This should be just as important. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said it too, bro. So when I got to Grand Valley State, uh, I started taking classes like in the field house. So I was doing sports management stuff and mainly because I just felt like that's what you were supposed to do. Like you're an athlete, so you got to
Mm-hmm.
go be a PE teacher or, go into sports management, right? And maybe part of it was I just wanted to get out of the field house because I just didn't want to see coaches and I didn't want to see like, so I was like, you know what? No, I don't want my whole life to be centered around this, and I made that decision to go into a different program that was completely outside the field house. But at the same time, it kind of lended to kind of my interest. So I was a DECA student. I don't know if you knew. So I did DECA in high school. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, so I did DECA. I went 2 years. So I went as
mm-hmm.
a junior and senior. Didn't win, but I went and competed.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mrs. Kaiser, Jenison High School, marketing, school store, eating the cookie dough. But anyway, yeah, so I was in DECA, so I was into marketing and things of that nature in high school. So then when I got to college, I was trying to figure out my major. I first was wanting to go into business. I didn't qualify because I stunk it up my freshman year, didn't get a good GPA. You had to have
Mm-hmm.
a 2.75 or 3, and I ain't gonna tell you what I got my freshman year, but
Mm-hmm.
and that was mainly because I was just thinking about basketball and stuff like that. But I decided to go into communications as
Mm-hmm.
my undergrad, and mainly because I was like, no, I need to do something outside of basketball, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
was my first step of trying to find myself outside of basketball, and I did it
Yeah.
almost organically because I was like, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this daggone field house for like 5 hours a day, like on a given day, and I don't want to spend another two, and I felt like too, like if I was in the field house and they saw me, hey, Pete, come in the office. I'm like, no, trying to avoid y'all right now. Trying to avoid y'all, Burton. But yeah, man, it's an important thing, and I think that
Yeah.
and it's Shannon. Shannon really hit on some good points too, man. It's like I think this is a core issue when it comes to a lot of our young kids' mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are not as I don't like to talk about, and I had a topic today. Part of, and I don't really want to dive too much into it, but one of my topics today was why are I guess I didn't word it right, but I basically said why are kids not as good as they were 20 years ago? And I'm not going to say that players or kids are not as from an athletic standpoint are not as good as they were 20 years ago. I would say from a basketball standpoint, though, especially in the state of Michigan, there was more depth. Though I would say that there was more depth, like down the line when as it pertained to like I look at like my high school year 2004, like just out of our top 10 guy, like, all of them went Power 5. You know what I mean? Like Al Horford, Marquise Gray, Drew Neitzel, Joe Malik, all those guys went Power 5. Like you're hard pressed to find one kid that go Power 5 out of the kids right now in state of Michigan. But yeah, man, I just think that overall though, I think kids are going through a crisis right now, as it pertains to mental health. And I think this is a contributor to it. I think we're living in a transactional society. We're living in a do it now society. We're living in a look at me society. And I just think that at some point, the leaders and the people who are mentoring these kids, and I think that there needs to be more of an emphasis on just who you are as a person versus who you are as an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been this debate, like, why is the U.S. falling behind when it comes to basketball versus Europe or the world and stuff like that? And Kendrick Perkins, you just showed that video. It's, I don't know, man. It's like back in, I hate this to sound like an old head, back in our day, it's like we played everything. We played every sport. You know what I mean? Baseball, football, track, basketball, you know what I mean? Soccer. And I personally, like, baseball was my first love, but when basketball took over, I still looked forward to baseball season because for me, it was like a number one, like a physical break because baseball wasn't as like physically grueling as basketball, and a bit of a mental break too. Because I'm just like, okay, like baseball is slower pace, not as intense. So yeah, going from season to season, going from football season to basketball season, then to baseball season, it just like changes your mental, changes your body movements. It's just like, and also too, you socialize with different types of people. Like the baseball kids I play with were nothing like the basketball kids I play with, and they were nothing like the football kids I play with. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, like what changed? I think that changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
Like LeBron was the best football player in the state of Ohio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony Clausen, like just people, I don't know, man. Just, I think playing basketball or playing one sport from elementary age, I think that just, I don't know. This is just a hypothesis, but I think it might just add more pressure too. Because one thing with the chosen ones, we help student athletes develop a growth mindset.
Absolutely.
So it kind of kills your growth mindset when you're putting all eggs in one basket. It's just like, if this basketball thing don't work out, I'm done. You know what I mean? And that's dangerous. Just as Channing said, like it's dangerous. So when we don't have that growth mindset, when we think basketball is the only thing that we have, we begin to embody our performance. So if we play well, we're on a super high. We're trying to go out tonight. We're trying to, you know what I mean? But if we play bad, we don't want to, we just want to be cooped up in the room, right? My teammates probably don't like me right now. The girls probably ain't shaking for me right now. You know what I mean? I don't want to go to practice tomorrow because coach is probably gonna hate me, right? So like, we become our performance, and I've been there, and it's a horrible place to be, man. And eventually, it caught up to me. That's why I didn't play my senior year. I didn't know how to I didn't know how to communicate my feelings, number one, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know where to go, right? Back then we thought people that go to therapy are, like really
Soft.
really broken people, soft, crazy, right? Yeah, man, it's just it's I don't know. I think a lot definitely has changed, bro. And I wish we could get back to what
Yep.
we used to do.
I think, you know, as you said with Perk talking about the difference between European and American-born players, that's a loaded question. I mean, that'll take
Yeah.
a whole entire. I think we may do that at one point. It's kind of break down
Mhm.
just the differences between um, just the two cultures, two different just situations. I think that's just a loaded question. There's a lot of factors that lend to that. Um, what you just said about not having nobody to go to, thank God that there's more emphasis on people like Nikki who are in
Mhm.
schools now. I can't imagine. Like I definitely would have tapped into that too as a college athlete because I think there
Yeah.
needs to be more of a intentionality to that,
Mhm.
especially at the college level, but even at the high school level.
Yeah.
But there was a shift at one point. There was a shift to specialization at one point
Mhm.
where you were think about it now, kids who are strictly playing one sport, like let's just say basketball, right? So let's start in the
Mhm.
fall. You're playing fall ball, okay? More than not, you're probably training with somebody,
Mhm.
okay? All right. Then you play the season, the regular season. All right. Then you go right into AAU. And a lot of times AAU, you get a little break in June, but guess what happens in June? Team camp. You go back to team camp with your team,
And
and
now
then you go
kids, now the high school team camps, like like we used to do what? East Kentwood and
Hope.
Hope,
Yep.
right? My junior year we added Grand Valley, so we did 3 things. But now mugs are like,
The whole month.
it's like, yeah, bro, playing like 30, 40 games. You know what I mean? It's
It's crazy.
yeah.
Then you go, and then you go right into a second period, live period in July. Okay. You're doing that until like July 20. And then you're off in August, but then September hits and you right back at it. So you're going 11 months straight competition too for 11 months out the year, you know? So I think that shift goes back because now you're definitely putting all the eggs in one basket, number one.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like that. I won't say it's like that with other sports, but it's similar. I know like with football, you know, guys are playing football season, they might take a break, but then they're
Mhm.
back in the weight room in the
Mhm.
spring, probably run track too. So that kind of gives them a reprieve. But they're doing 7-on-7s throughout pretty much from April to the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, there's no reprieve with them. Baseball, you're hitting over the winter, playing
Mhm.
baseball until September, and
Yeah.
in some states, kids are playing fall ball baseball too.
Mhm.
It's like that across the board, and I think a lot of parents feel like you have to do that in order to go to the next level.
Right.
Yeah, for some it does work. For some, for the few 1%, 2%, yeah, that works. But
Yeah.
then for like other guys that have put in all that time and all that effort and all of that, and they don't get any results, like what happens to them?
Right.
I posed a question. I was thinking about it, like because like people like you and I both, um, we both got full ride scholarships, okay, and coming from the same household too, you know. And I did numbers, and I think we are in that 1 to 2% range where of people
Mhm.
who've been able to get a full ride scholarship to go play a sport in college. Like we are in that one
Mhm.
to 2% range, and we both came from the same household. So that's not a coincidence, though. You know, it's not a
Right.
coincidence, and I don't think that's from our natural ability either. I think,
Mhm.
and I thought about it for a while. I'm like, what really made us go? And you said it earlier, it was playing multiple sports, you know,
Mhm.
and playing multiple sports at a competitive level, going hard at every
Yeah.
sport from a passionate level. Um, I think that was a really big contributor to our success as we got older and older. Was like we played baseball, we played football,
Mhm.
we ran track, we did all of that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And quite
Mhm.
frankly, you know, if I would have played tennis and we golfed too. Like we golfed. Like dad had us golfing. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, we were able to see other things and do other things. And I think a lot of those skills were translatable from sport to sport.
Yeah.
And I think was one reason what separated us apart from the rest. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, man, it's a hot topic.
Don't get it twisted though. Don't get it twisted. We was in the driveway, bro.
Yeah.
We was in the driveway.
Don't get me wrong. Now listen, like, basketball was always king. Basketball was king always. Like,
man,
I don't know, bro. Go ahead.
As long as it wasn't wet outside, it wasn't too cold or like pouring down rain. Like, we found a way to play. Found a way.
Yeah, and I think that too separated us. Like, we were obsessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were. I mean, that's just what we did for recreation. Like, I didn't like to do anything else but that, and like, we weren't like the type that would. You know, I think it was kind of. It was a lot of different factors, but yeah, we were. I saw a pic. I gotta post a pic. You sent it to me.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because, like, bro, we used to play to like 100. You
Bro,
know, like,
just yeah.
and
Yeah.
go and edit. You know
And
what I
we
mean?
weren't messing around. Yeah, we weren't messing around. Like,
Not playing. Like,
yeah.
so I'll give y'all the public. Like, so, you know, I'm 12 years old, brother's 9, and like, and shout out to my parents. Like, my parents didn't really like feed into it, but like, I was really ruthless at some time with my brother. Like, I was very ruthless. Like, I was not mixing feelings. Like, I wanted him to go inside crying, you know? And but to his credit though, he'll go in the house and, you know, one of them will say, you know, nah, you know, get yourself together, you know what I mean? Go back out there again. And to his credit, he came back out there. And I tell you what though, he came out there a whole like with a purpose, you know? And so like I said, man, like, you know, I think specifically to us, I think that was just a really big part of kind of who we are. What really trained us was like, we just competed. We wanted to compete.
Yeah.
And maybe like that, I kind of stained you with that, but I wouldn't say stained you, but like, I think when you went through those failures and you couldn't beat me, then you strive to be, and I remember you beat me and it was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, fine.
You know,
It was
like, you know, and
yeah.
but yeah, bro, like, yeah, there's a picture though. Sent me a picture, and it was so indicative, man. Like, I'm contesting, Wes is form shooting, like, it was just so like, and man, I think honestly, like, that was just a really big part of our upbringing. And so again, I think we'll get more into those stories as we really dive into those, because I think we got a lot of good stuff to share with you people out there.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, man, like I had to look at it and I had to take it back and think about it. And I'm thinking, man, like, it was really special for both of us to get scholarships. It was really special. And I thought about that after a while. I'm like, man, because I remember the first time I had saw what the actual number was in terms of like the tuition that other people were paying.
Yeah.
Yo. And then right then and there, I'm like, yo, okay, I see it I see how much it matters. You know, I remember going to just walking and get books and walking out, you know, and everybody else is paying
Bro.
$800.
But everybody else was in line though.
No.
The scholarship athletes, we could just go to the back, grab the box and dip. Like, there was that long line that everybody else had to wait to buy their books. Like, yeah, bro. It was different.
Bro.
Definitely different.
Insane, bro.
Another thing though that really helped, obviously, is having dad, like someone that was really knowledgeable of the game.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't really a dad that was like, get up, we're gonna run 6 miles a day. Like, it wasn't that. It was just like the work that we put in was on us, but like the car rides home, the 45-minute lectures outside, not lecture, maybe I'll call them demonstrations. Just
you right here
on us.
You right here. You need to be right here though.
It's all right. It's all right. The same physicality they're giving you, give it right back. Just going in. But but at the same time, it was all knowledgeable, man. It was wisdom, and when we use those tips the very next game, like they worked. You know what I mean? I'll never forget in baseball, when I was playing center field, like Dad would watch all the batters, all the other team at bat. He would scout all of them, like the first 2 innings, and he would remember like where they hit the ball last, or like, are they swinging late? Are they swinging early? So he'd be like, Wesley, move back. I'm just like, what? I'll move back to the right. All right. And he's like, more. I'm like, okay. 2 pitches later, pick. I'll move like 1 step, catch it. And then I'll look at him. He'd be like, oh man, like he just
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
knows, bro. Like it's
So-
just, I my mom always said like he missed his calling as a coach. Like I
yeah,
couldn't imagine him as like I could imagine him as like a defensive coordinator, man. Like,
man.
I don't know, bro. He probably could have been a Hall of Fame D coordinator somewhere.
He
Like,
definitely could have been. Like, shout out to Ron Trammell out there. I would say Dad was. I said in my Hall of Fame speech at Grand Valley, he was probably the best sports dad you could have.
Yeah.
Because he helped you through the process. He helped you. There was expectations, but he didn't, like you said, he didn't say, "Oh, you got to get up and run 6 miles" and stuff like that. Like that stuff is on you.
Yeah.
But like you said, like he was the type of person, because he was a student of the game, and he played every sport, and he was the type of person that would, like you said, we get home after the game, and you know you're thinking about the game from a macro level, like you're thinking of like the whole game as one, but he's thinking of like certain instances in this game of what you could have did that led to this, that led. And I cherish those moments after games. Now I look back at it, and that was a separator for us. Was a lot of people don't know, like you get back from a game at 8:30, 8:45 at night, and you walk in the house, but then like in the Trammell household, for that next 45 minutes or so, you're going through what happened, even in a win,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he filmed the games. He'd be liable to pull it out and be like, "No, come here. You know, let me show you," or he'll show you the next day. He'll show you the next day, and he studied the game, he studied us, and I think that kind of helped us. That separated us in a way, because it allowed us to understand the game at a more analytical and a deeper level. We weren't just out there playing. There was strategy to that. There was strategy to that. And then, like you said, bro, like, hey, the way he had y'all going when y'all was with the Broncos,
Oh
when you was there,
yeah, dog.
bro.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell the people out here, Jenison Cub football. Ron Trammell had these mugs on, like they didn't know what was going on. These boys, he had these boys out here. Let me tell y'all, this had to be 19, he was 8, 9. So this had to be like 1997, 98. Late 90s, Jenison Cup football. We just moved up there. So it was like, it was a lot going on. But so, Dad was the defensive coordinator. He was y'all defensive coordinator. And, bro, and you allude to it, like y'all were so sound in like your tackling, your assignments.
We were sticking folk, bro. Like because we worked on tackling. Like we didn't even. That's all we did. Like Mr. Robrine, he did the offense. We would run plays and stuff, but like we just did form tackling almost the whole practice. All those drills. I forgot the names of them. The one where you like laying head to head, you get up, and then like I forgot, but all those tackling drills, man. So at this age, the coach could be on the field with you. So I couldn't imagine how intimidating this was to some people.
Some people.
6 foot, I don't know how, 210 black man with a beard, loud, with like 3 chains on.
Unapologetically.
Yeah, like whenever we make a hit, he'd be like, yeah, jump in the air, slapping us in the helmet, like, that's what I'm talking about. And like, for me, like, some of my teammates were like, what's going on? But like, that was dad. So it was like, yeah, that's how he is, man. Like, but eventually, like, our team they just, I don't know, got used to it. And we were just out there sticking people. Actually, one of my teammates temporarily paralyzed a kid because he was running through the line straight up. And Wyatt, you remember Wyatt?
Yeah.
Wyatt Hollis, Leaf's little brother.
Leaf's brother.
That's who it was. But my teammate Derek Waltrink played linebacker, came and just like stuck him. And I think he just like, his neck just whipped back. And it was the scariest thing ever. We're 8, 9 years old. So he was on the ground screaming, crying, not moving. And we're all just like in tears, just like, what is going on right now? And we were shook the rest of the game. But like, that's literally the difference between like teaching your kids how to tackle properly, and on the other side, the kid not knowing how to run the football properly. Like, someone gonna get hurt. So like, but yeah, man, he had us right. We ended up winning the championship that year, and it was off the chain. Yeah. We lost one game, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yo, but they was trying to change rules.
We got him back in the championship.
Yeah, they was trying to change rules.
Yeah, bro.
That was after, like, so you had to put your hand in the ground, all that.
Yeah, man, they wouldn't let me stand up on the edge. Yeah. So
yeah, I was like, cause Wes was out there. Wes was out there like Myles Garrett, you know. But yeah, man. But like, just tie all that up together though. Like, I think, yeah, man. To me, we were taught very well. We were taught very well. I think we were taught from a practical standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, and then we knew how to compete. I think that was one thing. And I would say this: I think the expectation in our household was to compete. That was the Now, the expectation wasn't always to play well, but the expectation was to compete. Because that was the one thing. Even mom would type, like, she would say stuff like we not driving all the way to these games to see you out there bull crapping now. You know, like at the very, like, the number one thing, well, you better go out there and do your best. You know, so I think those were the two things. I think that it was an expectation in our household to compete. It was from a practical standpoint, it was expectation. Now, as it pertained to like the fundamentals and the skill stuff, that's where those conversations about those coaching conversations are, you know. And even if it was like, you know, like, I remember I was missing free throws, you know, and he had the camera on. And then I make the adjustment. I made free throws in the next game. So those were those, I guess, those adjustment conversations that we had. But again, I think the number one expectation in the Trammell household was you better go out there and compete. At the very least.
Yeah, man. Mom's no sport playing behind. Didn't play around either.
Nah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, even though she didn't really play, obviously she had brothers that played, and being married to dad for a long time and raising athletes, like, she learned the culture of sports. I remember, I don't know if you were there. I think you were playing in the same Macker. This had to been like summer 99, maybe. And I hit it was like a real intense game. Parents was going at it. Yeah. And I think Stevie was here that summer. Cousin Stevie. I hit a game winner, like a buzzer beater, because the clock was going down or whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom went up to one of the dads in the other team, all in his face. Did I say my mom? Mom. Mom went up to yeah, it was like we're staying here and you're going home. Like kept saying that over and over. I was like, Mom is so this is like Mom was wasn't even 40 yet, right around our age. So like
Yeah.
Just hood, man. Just
A
hood.
real one. A real one.
Beaumont High School, St. Louis. Yeah, like
Yeah. A lot of people don't know the real
man.
Carla. There's two
Nah,
Carlas now.
man.
Yep.
There
People
is.
be like,
Your
your
mom
mom's
is
so
your mom is
nice.
so sweet. She
We ain't talking about the same person right now. Mama don't threw a whole Nintendo at me one time. I was like, whoa, you gonna throw my Nintendo at me? I was like, bro, listen, I didn't want to cross any of our parents, but I think I almost would have just took dad over mom being mad. Cause like mom was like she was vicious with it. You know what I'm saying?
man, bro.
Dad was more temporary
Yeah.
with it. Like it was gonna hurt temporarily, like either physically or emotionally with him.
Right.
But with mom, like it was the moment, and then it was like afterwards too.
She go cut you deep, man.
Cut you deep, bro. Make you really make you cry like from inside.
It's like, dang, man.
For real?
Dang.
Like,
but
man.
Hey,
baby.
We had a great mother, Carla.
Yeah.
We love you.
Love you to
You
death,
were
mama.
Best mom ever. So
best sports parents ever, though. Really, real talk. Both of them
man.
from sport, just parents, period. But if you're just talking about sports, man, like there was no better pair of sport. Like, I mean, and then not just they were always present. If one couldn't come, the other one would be there. If it was like it had to be like an extenuating circumstance for them not to be at the game, like something either like there had to be a conflict or an emergency. Because and they would tell you like before, like, hey, I'm so sorry, but we're not gonna be able to make it for this one because we gotta go this and I'm okay, cool. I'll prepare myself for that. But like I think like I was telling somebody this, like I think one of the things that gave me comfort, especially on the road, was seeing my parents or seeing somebody there. You know what I mean? Like I see them, and like it's a weird thing. Like I can be in a crowd of 5,000 people, but I can hear my mother over every single one.
That's my baby.
You know what I'm saying? I can hear her. Like it's just like an octave that I can hear, and it's like almost like we have dogs, so like yeah, I know Benny can like feel your voice. You know what I mean? He can feel it. He can sense it. My dog's the same way. I'm not saying we were, but I was the same way with mom. Like I can hear even dad too. Like, but his voice was just over everybody though. You know what I mean? But
somebody better get him. Somebody better get him.
Golly, bro. But best sports parents, bro.
Hold up, bro. To that regional final game against Ottawa Hills.
Yeah.
To be in the crowd filming in the midst of hundreds of Ottawa Hills fans. Like you're the only one. And he is talking so much mess. Like, so much mess. But like for you though, to deliver and like make him look good though, like made things so much better. Because like when you hit that 3 late in the game, like that was it, bro. Like everything about that game was just perfect. If I don't know, man. I wish people had. I don't know. That run was legendary, but I'm sure we'll talk about that more too.
Yeah. No, just I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, I would say like this kind of ties into everything, but like having it was almost like having a trainer in your corner as a boxer. You know what I mean? Like if I knew I had him behind me, like I wasn't scared of nothing. You know what I mean? Cause like if he talking cash and I'm talking cash, you know what I mean? Like so it gave me comfort, you know what I mean? And like, especially like, just to kind of talk about that particular game, like, we're at we went to like an all white school at Jenison, and Iowa Hills is an inner city school. So I think the perception of really both of us was like, oh, they soft, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, they go to Jennison, like, and I used to tell, like, now later in life, I used to tell people, like, we went to school there, you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, like, you know, we're different, you know what I mean? And I think they kind of saw that, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, having his support, having him at that game, I mean, at all the games, man, always just gave me confidence. You know,
Yeah.
it just trickled over. So I'm sure we'll
Mhm.
talk about
Mhm.
that game and more in depth and more with more specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, even just the like just the courage, you know, even taking that shot, you know, I took that thing deep. That was like white line too.
Yeah, it
But
was nuts.
shout out, that was a great game, man. Those are one
Mhm.
of the games in my life that I would never forget. I mean, there's a lot of games that I just can't even think about. I will never, but that's one game. There's a handful of games where I remember them almost like play for play.
Yeah.
That's one of them, dude. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
we rolling almost 2 hours. I want to give a couple of updates. Kind of what we're doing. You know, we're both busy, busy. And
Mhm.
a lot of things are going on from a week to week standpoint. Um, so what's anything new with you guys, with the chosen ones? What type of programs you guys got going on right now?
Yeah, so we're adding out of all sports, man, we're adding soccer on Wednesdays after school
It's
at
amazing for
Jared
you.
R. Ford. Soccer. It's amazing for you.
Go ahead, go.
Inside joke.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so like I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the majority of our kids are probably half our kids are either Hispanic or African. So a lot of them really like soccer over basketball. So at the end of our workout sessions, sometimes we'll have free time. And naturally, I'll go get a basketball, start shooting it. 3, maybe 4 other kids will play with me, shoot around. The rest of the kids are playing soccer on the other end. At first, I was like, dang, this is different, man. So it just kind of surprised me. But then I looked at, you know, the nationalities of the kids that we got. Um, so we got with the team and we're just like, man, what if we just offered just like a soccer group, just a way to spend more time with them. We can get some volunteers from the community too that have played soccer at a high level, to come in and teach them pointers and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on. Hopefully we get started in 2 weeks. Um, but yeah, that should be fun.
That's dope. That's dope. I
Hmm.
worked at a school that had a high uh Middle Eastern population. You know, a lot of
Hmm.
kids from Middle East Chaldeans, and soccer was just the number one sport. I mean, it is the number one sport in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's growing in the United States too as well. So that's awesome. You
Hmm.
know, that's another part of meeting kids where they're at. You know, relating to
Hmm.
what their interests are, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that, man, for
Yeah.
sure. And I'll
Thank you.
just add from practice sports management standpoint, we are a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. We're in the recruiting season right now. Recruiting all guys, high school guys, college guys. Um, I brought on a couple new guys to the team. I'll say it right now publicly. We're adding on Tyrone Lee, former Grand Valley State
Okay.
Laker.
Yeah.
Tyrone's going to handle my scouting, and he's also going to do some consulting for transitioning guys from college to pro.
Hmm.
Tyrone's going to be really good because Tyrone, he got it out the mud, man. I mean, in terms of his pro career, he called
Hmm.
me. He called me a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago. He called me and he was like, "Man, you know, because him and I have talked in the off seasons. I used to train him, work him out, get him right in the off season. So we've already had plenty of conversations about just stuff outside of basketball. So hit me up
Hmm.
and was like he was retiring. You know, he went back because they gave him a really good contract and money. He got hurt like the first day.
Hmm.
He said he's like, man, he's like, I sprained my ankle and I pulled my groin all at the same time. And I was like, I knew it's over. So
Yeah.
He was like, and
Good
it was
sign.
crazy. Yeah, but he's like, he was definitive about it. He's like, yeah, I knew I was done. I didn't want to. He said, his exact words was, I didn't want to do this anymore. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to tell you how much he was making, but most people will be like, man, I would have made that money. I'm like, but if you're not in that situation, you can't really relate to it. But so
Yeah.
he hit me up about a month ago, talking about he's back at home, looking to get into just get into his life, and he's going to be another guy to talk to about this because
Mm-hmm.
he is transitioning because he has been playing professional basketball since he got out of college.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really been able to build a huge work resume and things of that nature. He hit me up, and then obviously we've talked about some other things, but then I thought about it, and I was like, I need a guy that has this experience, that has this background. It's so much scouting that we deal with. Like, it's always so overwhelming when you're looking at over 500 guys and you're trying to find 5 out of them. It's
Mm-hmm.
just super overwhelming. So having somebody that can kind of break that up and kind of manage that is going to be really good. And then obviously preparing guys for the next level, he's going to be really influential.
Yeah.
We also brought on, I don't know if you know him personally, but we also brought on Isaiah Buffkin. Isaiah Buffkin is Kobe's brother. Okay.
Okay.
He manages Kobe. And he's going to come on for us as a player manager developer. So he's going to manage our players.
LA Lakers, Kobe
Yep.
Buffy.
Yep. I was going to say shout out to Kobe too, because he's like, you play with LeBron. I'm like, you play with LeBron, man. You got to be, man. That's
Crazy.
just
Great
so
experience.
crazy experience. And he played well. Hopefully he can, find a role. I think he can find a role there. I think the one thing that the Lakers do lack right now is a guy other than AR, Luka, LeBron, who can really like consistently play pick and roll, make plays. And that's what Kobe does. Kobe can play pick and roll, he can score, he can shoot the ball. I think he fits. I really do. I think he fits. And I hope that the organization real chance, man, because he was a lottery pick. I just hope and pray that they give him a real chance. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's but yeah, Isaiah's gonna join the team. Isaiah's gonna be he's also gonna do some financial strategy for us too as well for players. He already manages Kobe. Isaiah's gonna be a really good addition to the team. So Isaiah's part of the team. So shout out to those two. I have a meeting with them tomorrow because they're both over here on the east side of Michigan. So we're meeting up tomorrow, just kind of discuss some things and just growing, man. Just growing. Trying to just develop a team and develop an infrastructure that would be attractive for guys to join. And
Yeah.
I think that we've made some good strides in that direction, and hopefully it pays off. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Mike Miller, who's been really great with the player development. Mike is Mike's special as it pertains to just the whole analysis of basketball players. We're one of a kind. No, I'm not one of a kind. We're one and the same as it pertains to that. So me and him really click
Yeah.
on basketball stuff, and love to have Mike on the show too. All these guys I would love to have on the show. I know you had Mike on your podcast at one point, and would love to bring on Mike. Mike's got a lot of good knowledge as it pertains to just personal development, player development. He's got a great story. Him and his brother both have really good stories. It'd be good to have them both on the show too. So again, we're just building, and hopefully, here in the next, 3 months or so, we're going to be signing some guys for NIL and for professional contracts. And yeah, man, just building. So stay tuned, and we'll keep rolling. So again,
Yes,
once
sir.
again, please like, subscribe. If you look at the show, and we do have a YouTube page, Inside Out B-Ball Pod. I believe that's the Instagram. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. The YouTube is Inside Out Basketball Podcast. The Instagram is inside underscore BB underscore podcast underscore. I believe that's what it is. But I will post it in the job description. I should know that off top. Because like I said, I think the next part of the show is our next part of really is really pubbing it, because I think that there's going to be some good stuff from this. And all in all, man, I get to talk to young Wes here and catch up to my bro. Bean was like, no, Javon was like, man, y'all twins. I'm like, I had to look at it. I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but I was like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, we got the same complexion, and and we got some same like mannerisms and stuff. I think that's one thing.
Yeah.
That comes from I think Uncle Butch, Uncle Steve, and Granddad. But yeah, so subscribe, like, but till next time, man, we appreciate y'all, checking in with us. Till next time, we'll be here, and peace out.
God bless y'all.
Oh shoot. Okay, bye bye.